Good morning, children. Welcome back after your vacations. You know that previously we have completed 3 chapters: plant tissue, photosynthesis, and respiration. You have been given the assignment. Hope you have completed that in your notebook. Just for the as you are returning back and I hope that you have not studied properly. So just we want to get all the thing revised once again. Let's start with the first chapter, plant tissue. You all have studied about cell in the previous class and you all know how to define it. So let's define it one. Cell is a basic structure and functional unit of life of all living beings. And the group of similar cells performing specific functions are called tissues. There are different types of tissue, plant tissues and animal tissues. In this part, we are discussing the plant tissues. Tissues are of 2 types, meristematic and permanent tissues. Meristematic tissues are the one which comprises of dividing cells. These dividing cells help in increasing the length and width of the plant. Here in the diagram, I have shown you the shoot in which at the apex or at the tip of the plant is present the apical meristematic tissue. So, where you will find the apical meristematic tissues? It is present at the tip of the root and shoot and help in increasing the length of the plant. On the lateral side is present the lateral meristematic tissue or cambium. This help in increasing the thickness of the stem and root. So the cells which are present in the meristematic tissues have certain characteristics. They are small in size, the cell wall is thin in these cells, and they have a prominent nuclei and no vacuoles. Now coming on to the permanent tissues. We have 2 types of permanent tissues. One is a simple permanent tissue and the other one is complex permanent tissue. Simple permanent tissues, as the name indicates, are made up of similar type of cells, whereas the complex permanent tissues are made up of different types of cells. Simple permanent tissues are again divided into 2 parts. One is the protective tissues and the other one is supporting tissue. You have observed the stem. The outer covering of the stem is called the epidermis. Similarly, the outer covering of the root is also the epidermis. So, the outermost layer forms the epidermis, and this epidermis is a protective covering. And in many parts of the plant, this protective covering is covered with a waxy substance known as cutin. Another protective tissue is stalk. This stalk is thick-walled and is made up of dead cells. Again, cork is also a protective covering found in the root and shoot. But cork is not present in the younger part of the plant. It is present in the older part, that is the old tree has cork, not the younger one. Now we have the supporting tissue, the second type of simple permanent tissue. Supporting tissues are of 3 types. The first one is parenchyma, the second one is collenchyma, and the third one is sclerenchyma. Parenchyma are thin-walled and is made up of living cells. They have intercellular spaces. Intercellular spaces, if we draw the diagram, the transverse section, you can see that in between the cells there is a gap. This is the intercellular space. They may be oval-shaped, spherical and cylindrical. So, I hope that you know what oval, spherical and cylindrical means. These parenchyma are present in all parts of the plant, that is root, stem, leaves, everywhere. Parenchyma cells sometimes possess, or we can say many a time it possesses chloroplast. These chloroplasts are the structure you have studied in cell. Again I am recalling the chapter cell. Chloroplasts are what they are? They are plastids. And plastids are green in color. So Chloroplasts that are present in the parenchyma cells, they have the capability to perform photosynthesis. And the parenchyma cells which bear chloroplast are known as chlorenchyma. The function of parenchyma is that it stores food. Now coming on to the second supporting tissue, that is collenchyma. Collenchyma, again they are circular, oval or polygonal. Polygonal, I hope that you know better. They have multiple sizes. They are again living cells. So the common thing between the two is the shapes are generally the same and both are living. But parenchyma were thin-walled. Here collenchyma are thickened at corners. So these are the living cells which are thickened at corners due to the deposition of cellulose and pectin. So cellulose and pectin is present in the wall. I'll be drawing it for you. Suppose this is the shape we are talking about, polygonal shape. They have the thickening at the corner. Due to the thickening at the corner, there is very less or no intercellular space. The gap that you have seen in the parenchyma is missing over here. So intercellular spaces are generally absent. They have the function to provide flexibility. You have observed that when the wind blows, the tree bends from one direction to other direction according to the speed and the direction of the wind blowing. But they never broke easily. This is due to the presence of collenchyma that is providing flexibility. Along with providing flexibility, they are providing structural support, and it is present again below the epidermis of the stem and leaves. Now coming on to the third type of supportive tissue, that is sclerenchyma. This is the structure of your sclerenchyma. Long, having pointed or tapering ends. The cell wall are thickened. Here the deposition of lignin is there. Therefore, the cell wall are thickened. They are made up of dead cells. So, the dead cells are there. Dead cells means no protoplasm. Again going back to cell, what is protoplasm? Protoplasm is the living content present within the cell membrane. That is, protoplasm is having the cytoplasm. You can say the cytoplasm along with the nucleus forms the protoplasm. Where is sclerenchyma present? It is found in the stem and veins of leaves, and it also provides mechanical strength. So basically, parenchyma is providing it stores food and it performs photosynthesis. Collenchyma and sclerenchyma are providing the strength or support to the plant. Sclerenchyma consists of two types of cells. One is the sclerenchyma fiber and the other one is sclerites. Some of the example you have observed by yourself, but you didn't noted or you don't know that they are the sclerenchyma. These are the fibers of jute, cotton, hemp. The husk that you see around the coconut is nothing else but the sclerenchyma. After completing the supporting tissues, we come to the second type, the complex tissues. We have studied the simple permanent tissue. Now coming on to the complex tissues. The complex tissues are made up of two or more types of cells. So in the previous part we have studied that all the parenchyma cells were similar, collenchyma cells were similar, sclerenchyma cells were similar, but complex tissues are made up of different type of cells that performs a common function. We have two types of complex tissue. One is xylem and the other one is phloem. Xylem conducts water, and from where it will conduct water, we know that the root absorbs water from the soil. So the root absorbs water and it is transported to different parts by xylem. Phloem conducts food. So we know that phloem conducts food. Where the food is prepared in the leaves. So the conduction of food takes place from the leaves to different part of the plant. Together, xylem and phloem forms the vascular bundle or vascular tissues. Xylem comprises of 4 types of cell. It is given in your book. Phloem comprises of 4 types of cells. It is again given in your book, but in your syllabus only this much is prescribed. You can go through the part, but it will not be asked in your exam. So hopes you have understood the chapter. Again we have revised it and done it well.